That's about as American as it gets, bro.
It's America.
Is this thing on?
Check 1 2 1 2.
It's fucking crazy.
They're invincible, indestructible. These living for like 10,000 years.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hunt for Greatness podcast.
Shit in a nice way, in a reasonable manner. You good?
All right, we're good. We're live. We're back on the Hunt for Greatness podcast, everybody. We've been gone a couple weeks. Shit's been happening. Thank you to Womack Electrical Contractors. Hit them up, 910-231-7679 for all your electrical needs. I got my boy Justin, a.k.a. Tension, on the Hunt for Greatness podcast tonight. What up, Justin?
What's good, baby? What's good with it? Good
My
to be here.
man.
Man. Good to be here.
I think it'd be cool to just tell people how we met. I think that's pretty crazy, dude. Like, you seem like the kind of guy that'll just talk to anybody kind of like me, though.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Pretty open and outgoing.
Yeah, that's usually, you know what I'm saying, how I've been like most of my life, even though really I've had, see, the funny thing is my mom and my biological father who jumped out of my life, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a sob story or whatever. I'm not getting into that, but they basically both had a lot of anxiety. So I've dealt with social anxiety like my whole life, but people can't really tell.
Nah, I can't tell at all.
People just find, I just find a way, you know what I'm saying? Especially through Christ. I'm a firm believer in, you know, my Father in heaven. And it's like, I feel like God has helped me with a lot of that for the most part, like getting away from that side of myself and just being able to come forth with who I am to people. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
yeah,
when I met you, he was delivering pizzas to my house, everybody. You work at Domino's? Was Domino's?
Yeah, it's Domino's.
Yeah, so he pulls up, starts talking to my boy about paying for the pizzas, and I'm getting good vibes off of you. I'm like, this dude seems real positive, like I'm getting good vibes. So we just start talking. I'm out there like messing with the boat, and we just start talking, and then you mentioned something kind of in passing about being a musician or a rapper, or you said something of that nature. Yeah. And so I got interested, obviously, because I love doing a podcast. I love talking to people and seeing the things that drive them and things of that nature. And so you sent me some music.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen to it, and then you texted me the next day. You're like, did you get a chance to listen to it? And I hadn't listened to it yet. So I get in the car, and I'm on the way to this camp out, and I throw this shit on the Bluetooth, and it starts coming through the speakers, and it's that first track. The first track I listened to was the one you were like,
Is it A? Was it A?
it was the one where you're talking, like you're saying something in Spanish at the
I
beginning.
know
You're like,
what
muy
saying.
bien, or
You talking about trophies.
trophies, yeah.
I'm a ball today.
Yeah,
that type shit.
oh
Yeah,
my God,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
So at the beginning, what are you talking about? Oh, you're like,
Yeah, I'm,
good take. You're saying good take.
Yeah, I'm
That's
signaling to the guy who was recording me. Shout out, Mike Brown. Mike Brown mixing. He's over there off of Arley Road, right there by Military Cutoff. I was working with him for a little bit. We did a couple of things together. And I was like, yo, like this song, like I heard M on The Way I Am, right? And he's like, M has kind of done this before, you know what I'm saying, a couple of songs where, he'll be talking to Dre or talking to somebody in the studio on the other side of shit, telling them like, all right, go ahead, run that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, or maybe even Drake said it before. I was like, you know what? I'm going to up the ante. I'm going to have like 10 or 15 seconds where it's like, the audience, whoever is listening to it, they get a genuine feel of what was going on, like in the mixing, in the process of like, you know what I'm saying, the actual track itself. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it, man. Like,
it made it even more raw when the beat drops and you start rapping. It just made it even more like hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Build up, man. Build up.
I heard that and I'm like, these other two tracks cannot amount to that one. Because I heard that one and I'm like, dude, that shit is fire, dude. I was in the car like, damn, and the shit kept cutting off because I had to play it through her phone because mine wouldn't connect. And we were listening through it through a text.
Right.
So I got to 45 seconds, it would cut off.
Right.
I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? I'm like trying to turn it back on and then I just end up just moving my thumb the whole time to keep the screen on. And I'm like, man, this shit is hot, dude. Then I started blowing your your phone up.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
I know.
yo.
He gave me a couple of texts back to back. I wasn't expecting that. I mean,
Dude.
I've gotten responses from people, but for the most part,
I love it, dude.
hey man, I'm telling you, if I can affect just, you know, I mean, I know this sounds super fucking cliche, and obviously, you know, my family, you know, my team, you know, my guys, we need this, man. Like I've been through, you know, so much growing up and everything, and like I said, just thank the Lord Jesus, I've been able to get through it all. But at the end of the day, if I can affect one person, you know what I'm saying, if I wasn't to get famous, if that wasn't God's will, whatever it may be, if I can affect one person, and you know what I'm saying, make them be able to fucking go in there when they're about to work out and fucking kill their session, or they're, you know what I'm saying, they're about to go on the field and whatever, you know, sport, whatever, you know, item, whatever category in life you're trying to fuck shit up in, like if you can listen to my track and then all of a sudden get a, you know, a positive feel from, like, I can do this, like I'm good with that.
Man, so that probably has a lot to do on what drives you as an artist.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Because that's one of my biggest questions I like to ask people. What drives you? Like, what makes you want to do what you do? Because, I mean, that has to play a big part in it. Because you sound passionate about that, you know?
Oh, man. Well, I've dealt with, like I said, my dad left when I was, you know, little and everything. My stepdad, who, you know what I'm saying, like, forget the dude, you know what I'm saying, is technically, you know, this is my biological father. My dad's my stepdad. He's been in my life since I was, like, 8 years old. And he used to see me and my uncle, man. My aunt, you know, that's my guy right there. We grew up together pretty much. Where I was in foster care, I stayed with my grandparents for a year, and then we pretty much, you know what I'm saying, we did everything together. Even though he was like I said, like 7 or 8 years older than I was, we did everything together. And you know, he taught me, you know what I'm saying, a lot about sports and shit like that. And we just rapped together. And you know, since I was a youngin', bro, like 5, 6 years old, and that really is what kind of got me into it. And you know, but at the end of the day, it's like I said, dealing with the OCD and, you know, different, you know, mental, you know, about mental disorders and awareness to that and everything. One way I've always found to get, like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, like negative thoughts, I guess channeling NF a little bit. One way to get rid of some of, like, the negativity that's going on inside is, like, fucking, like, pick up a pen or start, you know, speaking into the phone, into the notepad, and then just, you know, just spitting lyrics, and it just helps get things out, honestly.
Yeah.
And I also believe, you know, like I said, the Lord Jesus, he's got a calling for everybody's life, man. God's got a calling for everybody's life. And when you're doing something and you start, like, whether you get chills or, you know what I'm saying, you just breathe in deep and it seems like the moment's kind of like frozen, whether that's with a person, you know what I'm saying, a relationship, you know what I'm saying, like, or a passion. You're in the right spot. So when I'm on stage or fucking when I'm freestyling, whatever it is, I just feel like kind of like things slow down completely, and it lets me know music is big, man. In my life.
Yeah, because that's kind of how I feel when I paint.
Yeah,
or when I
real.
draw. Or,
Yeah,
you know, I've done open mics, like stand-up comedy open mics, so I know how important it is, like you were talking about earlier, to get the mic in your hand and get some stage time.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, man.
At first, I mean, for me, it still is. Every time I go up, I'm super uncomfortable. I'm super nervous.
Yeah, man. It's a fucking different world when you're part of, you know, the world from everybody else's point of view in a crowd, you know, like you're part of the herd.
Totally different.
You're a sheep. It's like, okay, everything's good. All of a sudden, when you're in fucking front of everybody, no, it's a different side of things, bro.
Very difficult.
Different
Very few
perception.
people can have, like, a stage presence.
Yeah,
Stage
it's
presence
hard,
is
man.
so important, like, if you're doing something like you do, or if you're doing stand-up comedy, or anything where you're on a stage, to have the presence and to keep people's attention, like, to have, like, let me grab your attention and let me keep it.
Right.
Like, I have to do some things to keep your attention, you know? And it's like, when you're first starting out, it's kind of like trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah.
It's really odd to do stand-up,
Yeah.
too, because you're, like, practicing actually in front of people.
Yeah.
It's like, I could tell you jokes, and you might think it's funny, but it might not work on stage.
Exactly.
It's got to be a totally different delivery.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
And then, like,
Hell
as
yeah.
far as being a musician, like, you really have to, like, keep that energy. People can feel your energy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's definitely a thing. That's when, you know, I think from really the first time I ever, you know, started getting in front of people, this is a little funny story. Back in high school, you know, me and my best friend, you know, that's my guy. But here's how I could tell I was, like, just a little bit better in front of people than a lot of people are. I got, you know, up there, it was senior project. We were doing, like, a midterm speech, right, or whatever, right? in our English class, and I got up there, and I was a little nervous, but I was straight, right? Like I was good. I got through it. It didn't seem like that was a big a deal. And then my best friend got up there, and this shit is funny, man. All of a sudden, I start the podium. It's a tiny ass podium he's standing at, and he's not looking like at anybody. He's, you know, people are nervous.
Down.
No, people are nervous, and they're just staring a straight line to like the back of the room.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck you doing, man? I ain't been talking to anybody at all. He was like, and all of a sudden, the podium starts shaking. Like I said, this is a tiny ass, not sturdy podium, and I could tell like his knees were like straightened up. He was about to fall over. That shit was hilarious. I'm giving him hell to that. To this day, I give him hell about that. But, you know, ever since then, like, I guess I just started noticing, like, I'm really not that bad around people when I see, you know, how other people, you know, respond to, you know what I'm saying, the crowds and shit like that. And then, you know, like I said, thankful, you know, because of me getting into music, you know, more hardcore. And, you know, I've always kind of had, like, that, I guess, leadership mentality, even though I can be, you know, kind of passive aggressive. You know, you're never going to be 100% anything.
Right.
You can be a good leader, but it doesn't mean you won't have flawed areas. You know what I'm saying? That people will be skeptical about, you know, to you, even though you're good at that area. So even though I have like a leader, you know, mentality, I've never been the type to like force people and shit like that. But my buddies have saw, you know, my homeboys have saw me, you know, start getting into music more hardcore, and they start getting into it. And then all of a sudden my best friend, who had that podium situation, now his fucking stage presence is way better because I've gotten him into music and he's been in front of crowds and shit.
Wow.
Now. So he, you know what I'm saying, he's more straight with it. I've noticed his progression every time we, you know, we do something together. I'm like, I make sure to tell him like, yo, I'm proud of you, like on some real shit, because whenever you see somebody doing something positive in this life, like it's pretty much like God's duty for you, like as a soldier in the army of Christ, like, you are supposed to tell people they're doing something good.
Right.
Like, I mean, you can't
encouragement.
You got to encourage people,
Yeah.
man. If nobody encourages anybody, we're all just fucking going to wake up and do the same exact thing we did yesterday.
Exactly.
You need somebody to help you do something new today that you didn't do yesterday. So that's what encouragement
What's
is. You know
weird
what
is it's usually somebody you're not expecting that encourages you too.
that is weird.
It's weird,
That's
man.
mad
And it's
fucking
usually
weird, right?
somebody who you don't think
Yeah.
could ever help you is the one that ends up helping you.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
weird.
that weird,
yeah,
man?
It's,
We don't choose our help,
we-
really.
We don't.
You
It's
know?
like God sends it.
It's kind of like we don't choose who we help either.
No.
Kinda. Cause
No,
it's,
in a way, yes, it is, because the stuff that you say, you're saying to people, not always that you know. And then all of a sudden, it's like, why'd I say that to that guy, you know, that random stranger? And then it's like, well, you know, and find out sometime, somewhere down the road, God used it. You know,
Yeah.
it's funny, man.
and what's
funny how
weird
that
is like
works.
when you don't say that thing that you think that you should say in the moment, and you like if you don't do it, like you'll think about it later, and
That's
you'll be
so
like,
true.
why didn't I say that? I should have told that
That's true.
guy he was awesome, or that girl she did a good job,
Exactly.
or I should have said something. Like I always regret it if I don't
Yeah.
when I
no,
get that feeling.
I know exactly what feeling you're talking about.
Yeah.
And even going back to what you were saying about, you know what I'm saying, not knowing who you're helping. Also, you know, you don't know who somebody is. Just because you don't know who you're helping, you don't know who that person might be. Like, I mean, another little funny thing, Talladega Nights. I know you know that
Love
movie,
it.
right?
One of my
Fucking
favorite
great
movies of all
movie.
time.
He says, he said, Cal Naughton says when they're sitting at the damn dinner table, is like, he's like, I like to picture Jesus as like,
He's like wearing a tuxedo
yeah,
T-shirt.
yeah.
He's like, and I'm hammered drunk.
I'm hammered drunk. He said, but here was the seriousness. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the point of that comment, the seriousness to that one little skit. He was like, let's say a bum walks up to you. It's the dirty old bum. You know what I'm saying? It's like it turns out it's Jesus. It's like you would have not known it before. It's like that. You know, all comedy has truth in it too. You know?
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
like you never know. You know when and where like an angel in disguise is in your life.
Right,
that
right.
type of thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you always gotta like have your eyes open.
Yeah, the best comedy has truth in it to
Oh,
me,
yeah,
and the
true
best
story,
type
true
of
story.
music has truth in
Oh,
it.
yeah.
You know, like I was telling Justin earlier, guys that are listening and ladies, that I like his music for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is that you can hear the emotion in his voice. Like I can hear you feeling what you're saying,
Yeah.
and that sets you apart from other people that I've listened to. Like all 3 tracks I was listening to were just, dude, because like I was saying, that after I listened to that first one, I'm like, I don't think these other ones can be as good as that one. I'm like, he probably sent his best shit first. So I listened to the other 2, and I'm like, damn, like this shit really is fucking phenomenal, dude. Like it really is like a notch above what I've been hearing lately. And that's the type of music I like the type that you're doing.
Right.
And I'm not like the biggest fan of hip hop, but like I do like hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I like old hip hop, like Outkast. I like Wu-Tang.
Oh yeah, okay, Wu-Tang.
But I also like newer
Wu-Tang.
stuff. Like I like the Baby. Like I really like the Baby because of his beats and the way his rhythm and it's like dancing and shit. But like I don't like a whole lot of new people, and I'm kind of biased towards the Baby because he's from Charlotte.
I was gonna say that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm biased, dude, because I love him because he's from North Carolina. But
that's the state. That's a state right there.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
but I mean, I like all kinds of stuff. Like I love like rock, old music. Like I like like Nirvana. I like Hendrix. Like that's why I painted these guys because I really like it.
My dad like a lot of them guys. And I haven't listened to them, personally, but the impact that they've left on people. Just from people that I know, having listened to them guys. It's like, I don't know, the overall impact they left is it has a deeper meaning. You know what I'm saying? They had a deeper vibe. You could tell when they were doing music, they were doing it with all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like Hendrix, he's the one that lit the guitar on fire on stage, right? Like, there it is. Yeah, he's got the damn.
That's an iconic photograph,
dude. Picture of it right here in the damn room.
I'm gonna paint that too.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna paint that?
Yeah,
okay,
it's gonna be extremely hard. I tried once already, but I'm gonna try to get better and then try it again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's an iconic photograph, dude.
See that iconic moments, man.
Yeah.
Iconic moments.
I think that was at Woodstock. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
so it's like a huge moment.
That was huge. Woodstock was in like the 80s, wasn't it? Was it in the 80s?
70s or 60s.
Okay,
yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, a little bit longer.
Yeah, dude. Millions of people I think showed up to that shit.
Oh yeah.
That shit's insane.
Oh hell yeah! I remember there was like there was a few like breakouts where police had to get involved and shit like that.
Yeah,
something that big, it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
Like,
but yeah, their music did have a huge impact on people. Isn't that amazing, dude? How like you're doing something that you love, and it could end up having an impact on generation after generation.
Absolutely.
After you die, like that to me is like that's very important to me to do some things in my life that will outlive me and that could carry on a legacy. Like my granddad carries on a legacy through me. So like he passed away. He was like one of my favorite people in the world, right? And I remember things that he taught me, and I remember things that he said that I thought were funny, and just lessons that I learned from that man, and just seeing him live and the way he lived his life, it was just inspiring to me, man. And like I named my son Maddox, which is my granddad's last name.
That's badass.
So like my favorite person passed away, and now I got a new favorite person.
That's
you know what I mean?
Right.
So like
that's what's up, man.
It's just cool, like we can make some things that will outlive us and will carry on our legacy throughout life. So when we die, everybody dies. When we die, like we can carry on a legacy throughout what we do.
That's why you got to leave. The steps you take, just nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? And obviously in the Bible it talks about God knows what's going to happen, before it does at all times. And, a song, by Casting Crowns, I like a lot of Christian music.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I've heard their music.
Yeah, Casting Crowns, they have a song where it's saying, it's one of my favorite lines I've ever heard in a song. It's, God, you're standing at the end of my life, waiting on the other side because you're already there. And that's something that's always like taking anxiety away from me. And that's great, live free. But at the same time, try to take more right steps than you take wrong, because how you talking about legacy? You want to leave something good behind, not something bad and trashy. You don't want people to remember you. Like, if your soul's saved, you're going to heaven, but how are you going to be remembered, like, on this earth when you're going? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to leave some type of an impact, man.
For sure.
And one thing is you can't take yourself too seriously. Like one of the first times I was in the studio, I was like, oh, man, this shit's about to be hot, man. This is going to be like the hottest track. It's going to go viral. And I remember hearing the back in the car. It sounded like I recorded in the bathroom. I was like, who in the hell is this? You know how, like, you hear yourself, like, singing in the shower, or if that's your thing or whatever, and it's like, damn, I'm good. And all of a sudden, people, you're around people, and It's like I was fucking Kelly Clarkson 10 minutes ago, and now I'm fucking more like, not so hot. But you got to be able to laugh at yourself, man.
Yeah,
you gotta
for
be
sure.
able to laugh at yourself and not take yourself too seriously. And that helps. I mean, ironically, that helps you be, more precise in whatever craft you're doing. It helps you be more precise in your movement and more and less skeptical. Because if you're being too serious, then your mind is too tightly wound, and you can't really focus on what's in front of you so much as in just focusing on one thing in your life. You got to be able to focus on the whole picture in front of you. So if you can calm the hell down, that's my message, like, to anybody, anybody that catches this, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, shout out to, Hunt for Greatness podcast. Man, looked out for me for real. There's one thing I'll say, just calm the fuck down, man. Whatever's going on in your life,
I agree.
Whatever bills you got to get paid, whatever fucking baby mama drama you got going on, that shit don't matter, bro. It's all like, there's always going to be tomorrow as long as the Lord, as long as the Lord allows you to wake up tomorrow. So stop tripping over, everything that you think is going to turn out a certain way in your life. Just calm the fuck down.
Yeah,
always,
for sure.
Man.
Like, live in the moment.
You got to be able to
live in your moment. Do you feel
yeah.
like you do that on stage? Probably.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
In life, not so much. I stress a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, over stupid shit. Everybody does, especially, I don't know, I get, being in my early 20s, I'm like trying to have it all together. Obviously, trying to be like, how my parents have helped raise me up to be, like, make sure you working, pops, like, you know what I'm saying? Make sure, try to stay a step ahead of the game rather than being behind. Because, my dad always tells me shit like, such and such is doing this your age, you know what I'm saying? Such and such over here is, on this path of life and they're your age, but, like, you're not them, you know what I'm saying? Like, be you. If that means, you know what I'm saying, being a step ahead of people, you know what I'm saying, not settling, then that's what you do. Like, you can't be afraid to stand out and just fucking sit down with everybody else. That, like we were talking about, the whole crowd and performer thing. In this life, are you going to be sitting at your own show, or are you going to be standing up there and doing something? Because if you're sitting at your own show, then nobody's fucking on stage, bro. So you're screwed. You know what I'm saying? You're screwed, bro. Like, that's why you see people, mental awareness and shit like that is such a thing. And, people using drugs and other, little stupid outings, if you will. And the reason why I say stupid is not that, drugs are bad and shit like that, but, people, trying to self-medicate because of shit that they've been through. Like, if you just, like, calm down and decide to be yourself rather than trying to be like everybody else, you would notice your life would change. So you can't be afraid to stand up for who you are. You know what I'm
I've
saying?
never got anything good out of comparing myself to another person. Honestly, bro. Like, whether it be to think that I'm better than somebody or to think that I'm not as good as somebody.
Right.
For me, nothing good ever comes out of that. But we're all different. Yeah. Like, we're all different, like you're talking about. We're all different on different paths of life, and we all get there most of the time like a different way.
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
man.
and,
Absolutely.
it's cool to share experience and, like, try to relate to people and share, like, okay, so something might have happened to you that made you feel the same way as it made me feel.
Right.
So I can relate to the way you feel through a different experience.
Exactly.
Even if it's not as bad as what happened to you, or what happened to you is not as bad as what happened to me. Like, we can all relate to, like, our feelings because we're people.
Yeah.
Like, we have feelings, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I just think that, like, not comparing ourselves to other people is important, and, like, trying to focus on, like, what's my weaknesses, what's my strong suits, like, how can I make those better? How can I turn my weaknesses into, like, how can I make them advantages at some point, Like, how can I work on these? Like, taking an inventory of myself is important.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I can be a dick sometimes. Like, I can be, like, real negative sometimes.
Yeah,
and then it
me
just
too.
feeds off of itself, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know if we're just kind of negative, like,
by nature
or what, but, like, I feel like it's a lot easier to be negative than it is to be positive.
Oh yeah, man, and that's where a lot of people make their money on, in comedy, is talking about negative shit.
Yeah,
because everybody can laugh. It's funny, people can laugh more about negativity than they can positivity.
Yeah.
I
wonder why
it almost
that is.
doesn't make any sense. It's like you can sit there and laugh and get a kick out of, like, dumb shit happening to people and yourself, but when it comes to, like, people talking about positive shit, it's more like, oh man, like, that would never happen. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you get all down and depressed because, like, start talking about all the, bad stuff that's happened to you. People got to be able to believe in the positive too. Negative,
for sure.
Really, negative is pretty much the nucleus of a lot of people's life, and you got to be able to, like, retrain your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, to help, it helps you and everybody else around you too, man. That's why, like I said, like, not taking yourself so serious. Like, you can't be afraid, you know what I'm saying, to fuck up. Like, you get on stage, rah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it, you know, like, you only get, you know, M said, you know, in the song, you know, in the song "Or Lose Yourself," you only get one shot, you know,
One
if
opportunity.
you do not miss your chance to blow, you know, like, you, every moment in life, you know what I'm saying, is your one shot. You can't be scared to be who you are. You can't be scared to stand up for whatever craft you're working on. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, like, I believe you're put on this earth to do 4 things. You're put on this earth to, you know, find Christ, you know, bring other people, you know, convert other people, bring other people to the Lord, have a family, and have a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, meet your soulmate, have your family, have your legacy. That's really the 4 things. If you hear people, the basis of everybody's conversation is really one in those 4 things.
Yeah, pretty much.
Something to believe in, something to be proud of, something, you know, to own. You know, obviously the belief in God, the proud of is, you know, your craft, the legacy is your family, you know what I'm saying? And then to some way, somehow, at some point in your life, lead somebody to something good. So it's like, that's the 4 things right there. You know, like, you got to be able to not multitask, you know, all the time, because, you know, when you do that, sometimes you get ahead of yourself. But you got to be able to navigate, you know, different things going on in your life,
Find
and
that
just
balance.
calm everything down. You finding a balance, man. Music is so much about, you know, finding a balance. I've noticed as I've done music more, criticism, I've never been somebody that's great with taking criticism, you know.
Yeah, me either.
Sometimes I'm really, really fucking bad with it. But criticism it hurts less and less over time. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid, right? And then putting the same Band-Aid, you know what I'm saying, like, back on your skin.
It's not as sticky.
It is not going to be as sticky. It's not going to hurt as bad when you rip it off, right? So it's like, as I'm doing music more, I'll get criticism from people, and it's like, it'll hurt, like, less and less. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, if I'm trying to get to that level, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's another message to all the viewers, you know. Like I said, Hunt for Greatness podcast, shout out, you know. Freaking, if there's another thing I could tell you, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to receive criticism, man. Don't be afraid to receive criticism, because it's going to make you better in whatever you're doing. If you want people to take you seriously, if you want your shit to be hot, if you want your tape to be ill, you know, if you want to get better at your job, and you want people to be able to, you know, critique you positively, then you got to go through the negative critiquing first.
For sure. That's how you get better.
Hell yeah.
You have to take it, but there's a way to take it, like, positively and constructively to yourself in order to get better. You know, they might not even mean it in a positive way, but that doesn't mean you have to take it in a negative way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can take what somebody's saying and, like, hey, like, maybe you shouldn't do this so much, or maybe you could do more of this. I really like it when you do this, and then, oh, you know, let me take that into account, because I'm not the great I am. You know what I mean?
Amen,
like, I'm
man.
not the great I am, so I can't, you know, make you feel or think differently. You just tell me what you feel and you think, and then I can either take that into account, or I can save it for later, or I can push it to the side, or whatever I have to do.
Dead ass. You got to be able to, you know, like filter stuff, and you can't be scared of, like, you can't be scared of rejection. And one thing you notice, a funny thing about rejection is, when you're scared to accept rejection, it makes you also scared to, you know, to allow rejection to come out of your mouth about other people. And, like, that can also put you in a tricky spot in life, because you can be, like, become too much of a people pleaser and stuff like that. You know, rejection is another huge key. Like, you know, me, like, I haven't fucked with many girls, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, a lot of girls, you all doing the same shit, you know, fucking their life is Snapchat. Like, oh my God, like, me and my girls, you know what I'm saying? Out on the town again Friday night, we're doing stupid shit, you know what I'm saying? It's not the greatest time, you know, to look for, like, the right girl, but it's like, you know, so I haven't messed with many girls, but, you know, a couple of times, like, I would, you know, I'd be chilling with girls, and they're just like, I don't know, say the wrong thing, or, you know, I don't know, just it put off a certain vibe that I'm not feeling, and it's like, I've learned more and more to be able to, like, be like, you know, like, calm that shit down, like, you know, take this another direction. And, you know, that's a beauty of, you know, being able to get out of your comfort zone in life and tell people shit that you're not necessarily, happy to tell them, you know what I'm saying, and receive things that you're not happy, about as
right.
well. Like getting out of your comfort zone is huge, man.
Huge.
For music, for anything.
Anything, yeah.
Getting out of your comfort zone is fucking
That's the only way I
huge.
grow as a person, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the only way. I used to be so uncomfortable doing this podcast, man. And, like, the reason I started is because we're always like this all the time. We're always
Right.
looking down with our
Right.
thumbs on the
Right.
phone all the
Hell
time.
yeah.
And I'm like, man,
Right.
I kind of miss having genuine conversations with my friends. So I started doing it with my friends.
Oh, it's badass.
We'd sit in here for a couple hours and just joke around and bullshit
Yeah,
and
for
just
real.
cut
Absolutely.
up
Yeah,
and, like, not pick our phones up. Like, we'll
Yeah.
just lay them on the table and we won't mess with them.
deadass.
And like it turned into me wanting to meet new people and learn things about them and like things that they do or that they're passionate about, because like I can find other things that I'm passionate about. Or like when my son gets older, like if my son wants to do this or do that or be a musician or do this, I can be
Right.
like, hey, check this guy out. Like
Yeah.
I know this guy. He can point you in the right direction. He has some connections. He can help you be better.
Right.
Like it might not be my strong suit, but I know
Right.
somebody whose it is.
Right.
So it turned into that, and then like I just really enjoyed it, and I just love sitting down with people and talking to them, and so like it just kind of evolved from that. So this is like 88, episode 88, I think.
Ooh, that's
so, like,
badass,
We're getting
man.
up there now.
That's bad.
and
Consistency, man. Consistency
yeah,
is key.
yeah. I've done some by myself where I just like
Yeah.
sit around and bullshit and
Yeah.
just like tell jokes and mess around.
Right,
And
right.
and then I've done some with people, like serious ones. I've done some where we just joke the whole time and
Yeah.
just make stuff up.
Yeah,
off the top of our head.
Stupid shit, yeah.
And then like do some with people like I don't necessarily know you well.
Right,
I met
yeah.
you once, and it's
Yeah.
just cool, man. Like people have reached out on Instagram like, hey, I want to come on your podcast, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
See, that's cool as fuck whenever you start, you know what I'm saying, hitting like the outer bands of your outreach. Like
So
people that
cool,
you
man.
don't know, that, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, don't know you, but they hear about your shit, and it's like, oh my goodness, like, yeah, that dude over there, like I want to, mess with him. I wanna
Yeah.
fuck with his
How
shit.
cool
So
is
it's
that?
like, that
So cool, man.
that's dope. That's like, you know what I'm saying, like, as I've started, because I'll tell people, because I'm not releasing stuff yet, because I'm waiting really to get, of course, you know what I'm saying, funds. You gotta when you're funding yourself. There's
Yeah,
that
we got
side
to
of
get your
things.
stuff out there,
For
dude. We got to
sure.
make it so people can get it.
Oh yeah. But it's like it's almost a blessing in disguise, because I have to like ask people like for their email. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I'm trying to give somebody my music, I can't just be less conversing with them and just be like, hey, I'll send you this link. We're good.
I need that.
Oh.
I need that to happen for you. Like I need you to be like, this is where my shit's at. Download it,
Right.
like it, share it.
Oh, yeah.
We need to be able to do
Hell
that.
yeah.
You're
No.
talented, bro.
We
Like we need it
definite-
out there.
That definitely needs, and it definitely needs to happen.
How long you been doing music? Like how long you been recording?
Okay, recording. Probably roughly 5 years.
Okay.
Roughly 5 years.
How old are you?
22. But
So,
I've
damn,
been,
you've
but
been
I've
doing
been
it since you were
messing with
young.
it. I've been messing with it since I was 14 or 15.
Really?
But yeah, roughly 4 or 5
Always
years.
rapping or singing or what? Like how did you start out?
Um,
Your uncle inspired you to start out?
Yeah. Oh yeah, my uncle, man. He was, and he's the fucking man, bro. Like, and I guess just messing with him, a lot, and just he's seeing his way he went about things, his culture. Like he always had more black friends than he did white friends, and it's like
He's a white dude.
yeah. And I don't know. It's funny, like, I mean, not trying to bring racism into it, but it is funny how people look at a white dude, a black dude, a fucking Mexican dude, an Asian dude, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, that's gotta be his friend group. Like, bruh, like it's about souls, not about color, you feel me? So it's
Yeah.
like, seeing my uncle growing up, he always had the fucking forces, man. This dude had the cleanest forces. I promise you. You know how you go to your grandparents' house or whatever, you drop something on the floor, like I could eat that shit off the floor. If you drop something on the shoe, you could eat that shit off of the damn shoe.
Those
He
Crispies.
always had the fucking cleanest white forces. I'm like, damn, son, you get the same shoes for 10 years straight. I'm like, this boy right here had the same damn shoes.
All whites.
All whites, bro. But it's like, hey, it's the classics, you know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong with it. That's like
Yeah.
getting I'm a Jordan guy. That's
They
like
match
getting,
everything.
oh yeah, that's like getting the Legend Blues or like the
Yeah.
fucking the breads. My breads are like, I don't wear my breads like that. I'm a big shoe guy, but my breads, I don't wear them like that because, them shits they're not cheap. You don't want to fuck a pair of shoes up like that.
Right.
Have to rebuy it. You know what I'm saying? But seeing my uncle, you know what I'm saying, like how he dressed, how he talked, that type of thing. It was like, you know what? I like how he's doing this shit, and I see people, I see my fault.
You good?
I see people my age, you know what I'm saying, that's doing that shit, and it's just like I feel like I can do it better, you know what I'm saying, and but growing up, it was like, you know, still it's like, oh man, the wigger, you know what I'm saying, like that type of thing, like here comes freaking, you know, this dude, and, you know, he thinks he's black or whatever. This is before even people knew I messed with music, you know, and just like, but it taught me, I guess, more and more about just being myself and not, I mean, of course I care about what people think. Everybody does.
Right.
People that tell you, like, I don't care what people think, it's like, either like they've done a lot of drugs and fucking lost brain cells and shit, you know what I'm saying? And so their awareness isn't heightened as much as other people's are. But regardless, people give a damn about people think,
Yeah,
bro.
for sure.
Like that, we pretty much, everybody lives their life kind of based on that. It's just about how much you care.
Right.
And, you know, learning, you know what I'm saying, to be myself and, you know, always being kind of like an outsider, it's been a blessing in disguise. But, you know, going after, you know, going back to it, you know, my uncle, you know, he taught me a few things about music, and I just started getting into it myself, and I was like, yo, I fuck with this. Like, this is what I want to do. And, like, I'm a wrestling fan, right? You know, like WWE.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
I've been big on WWE, like, since I was, like, fucking a couple
I
years
should have
old.
wore one of my wrestling shirts.
I'm trying to tell you, I
threw
got
it
a
on.
couple of Cena
Oh, I
shirts
was wearing
at the
one the
house.
other night when you.
You was wearing Ray. It was Ray Mysterio. Yeah,
Yeah.
had Ray on it. That, yeah,
Yeah,
619.
old school.
Booyaka, booyaka.
Old
Yeah,
school,
freaking
yeah.
Rey Mysterio. Yeah, that was that's the dude right there. But Cena, man, you know, Cena
Yeah.
was my wrestler. You know what I'm saying? And that's my guy. He come out, you know, the whole white dude. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop, you
Had
know,
the
rapping,
swagger.
yo,
Yeah.
freaking calling, you know, kind of like what The Rock was
Yeah.
doing. You
I
know,
love The Rock,
Yeah,
dude.
The Rock did it without rapping. He would like call people out to the ring and just fucking like bust on them, just kind of like slay them. So Cena did that, but started doing his own thing with it, you know, with hip hop, you know, calling Big Show a fucking big fat piece of bologna.
Yeah.
Shit, like, it's just funny, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, so when I started looking at things like that, you know, I guess my awareness heightened to like who I wanted to start crafting myself as a person, as I, you know, started getting into my like younger teen years, you know what I'm saying? Like close to 10 years ago now. I feel like an old man. But, you know, like, so I started noticing, I was like, yo, like, this is fucking, like, what I want to do. And I remember, like, I would sing wrestling songs to myself, you know what I'm saying, in class and shit like that. So I was weird, man. I was weird. I had, like,
was weird.
I
I'm
had my
still
group
weird.
of friends, you feel me? Like, another message. Don't be scared of being weird. Do
Yeah,
not
I'm
be
still
fucking
weird.
scared of being weird. A lot of people look at me like, oh, he's normal. The fuck I am. Like, nobody's normal, man. Everybody, you know, they got their skeletons in their closet.
Some of us just let it shine through a little easier.
And that's the less weird you are. I'll put it like
I think
this.
so too.
If
The less you try to hide it,
I'm
the
trying
less
to tell
weird you are.
I'm trying to tell you. First of all, like, you know, women are crazy. Y'all crazy. I think women are God's greatest creation. I absolutely see that. But y'all are crazy, man. It's coffee, Snapchat, and arguing. I'm trying some type of shit in that order, you know, whatever it is around that order. And it's like, so I learned if I'm ever chilling with a girl and she's like, I'm not crazy, I'm fucking dipping.
Yeah.
I'm running. I'm gonna run out
You're
of my
crazy.
shoes. I don't care. You can have the shoes. I'm like in cartoons, you see them run out of their shoes and shit. I'm gone, because the moment I meet somebody that's saying like, I'm not crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like,
They'll stab you. They'll stab
they
you in your
would-
sleep.
dead ass. That's them people. That's them
They'll
them
stab you
people.
in your sleep,
They'll
dude.
stab you in your sleep.
Yeah.
That's the people that you see on trial. You don't want to
Yeah.
you don't want to be friends with them people. But you know, of course, you know, nobody's perfect, you know. So Lord forgive me, I don't want to judge nobody, but you know, the gist of it is, you gotta keep yourself around people that are real. You know what I'm saying? And don't try to, you know what I'm saying, stir away from being yourself. It's okay to be weird. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure. I feel like the older I get, the more I embrace my weirdness.
Dead ass, bro.
Yeah.
Dead serious.
The more I'm like, all right, I'm into this,
Yeah.
and like, I don't care if you're into it. It'd be cool if you were, but if
For
you're
real.
not, I'm still into it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. No. Exactly that type of thing. Like as you realize, like your weirdness, or you know, your little fucking kinks or whatever. It's like then you're like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Like I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
So I
It
don't
makes
care
you who
so
you are.
much.
It
Yeah.
makes you who you are, and it makes you like an interesting person to talk to me. Like the weirder you are,
Right.
the more interesting you are for me to talk to. Like if
Exactly.
you have some weird ass thoughts, like
Right.
I love it. I love to hear it, even if I
Oh.
don't agree with it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a big problem now, is like when somebody doesn't agree with something, they like put up a wall, and it's like not talking to you. If you don't think this, I can't talk to you. I think that's a
Yeah, you
big
can't do that,
issue. I
man.
think it's a big issue now.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
can't learn from one another
Yeah.
if we can't see things from both sides a little bit.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
listening is such an important part of life,
It
dude.
really, really is, because then you will learn that you're not the only person that exists.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people think they're the only fucking person.
You're
that
not the
exists.
center of the universe.
It's like, no. And that carries so much weight on you, because then you think like, shit, I'm the creme de la creme. You know, I got to be up here. And the more that you think you got to be up here when you're supposed to be here, it just stresses you the fuck out more.
Absolutely.
And it separates you from any communication with people. You know what I'm saying? And it just changes your life. And it's a really, really huge negative impact. That's one thing about fucking social media. Everybody
Yeah.
posting Snapchats about their cat for 45 minutes. I'm like, look, man, I'm not even the biggest cat guy, and I gotta see your cat for 45 different fucking screenshots. It's like, this cat's got more selfies than you do today, gal. The fuck? I'm like, social media has never been necessarily something I keep, like in my repertoire that much. So
Yeah.
that's why it's been harder for me to get out in my music, because I'm not big on that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy that's posting every 10 minutes. I see people doing that, and it's like, I commend you for doing it, but I ain't perfect. Like I don't have that much patience, and also like I said, I was never really like, I don't know, the fucking the hot kid in school. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
the coolest guy or the best of the sport. None of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was just me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a healthy place to be too, because when you're popular and shit like that in high school, people make you feel like you're like so much bigger than what you are. And it's like,
Unfortunately, a lot of those people do not turn out well. Unfortunately,
yeah, man.
It
And the
sucks,
people that are
but
low key end up doing shit.
absolutely. I mean, and not a coincidence. It's not a
Nah.
coincidence, because like when you're young, dude, you care about all the wrong stuff.
Damn, skip.
All the wrong stuff. I feel like the older I get, the more I care about like love, and the more I care about building relationships with others,
Hell,
and like
man.
doing meaningful shit, and like having meaningful conversations,
Oh yeah, hell
and
yeah.
having purpose to things that I do.
Exactly.
Like not doing things without a purpose.
Yeah.
Like have a certain goal that I want to meet, or to be better than I was yesterday at patience, or whatever the trait
Exactly.
would be,
Exactly.
or like
Exactly.
showing love, like with my son. Every day I try to kiss him and hug him,
Right.
and tell him, I do every day. I
Right.
kiss him, I hug him, and I tell him I love him, and I try not to be on my phone while he's there,
Right.
and I try to like pay him full attention, because he's the most important thing in my life.
Right.
And like somebody might not have that. Like he has that, but other people might not have somebody that's showing them that they're important. And the thing about listening is that somebody might hit you up, right? I've had this happen a number of times, dude. Somebody will hit me up and they'll be struggling hard, right? And I don't really have anything I can say to make them feel better,
Right.
but just from me listening to them makes a huge difference. I feel like it does. Like sometimes people just want you to listen. They don't need you to say nothing back.
Dead
Ain't that crazy?
ass, man.
You don't even have to say nothing.
Dead ass.
Make a huge impact.
Dead ass. And
Sometimes people just need you to say, "Hey, how you doing?" Like
Yeah.
nobody might have noticed them all day.
Yeah. They don't need you to come up and be like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody's told you this today, but, I'm so proud of you. No, people don't need
Or
all the
just,
time
"Hey, how
that
you
big
doing?"
speech. Just like, hey, man, what's up? People just sometimes want to be recognized.
Yeah, like I try to like when people are doing like a job,
Right.
like at Bojangles. Like today I went to Bojangles, and I got some grilled chicken and shit. And I told the lady when I'm pulling out, I'm like, I really appreciate you. Like I'm real hungry, and I appreciate y'all
Right.
serving my food
Real
up.
talk,
And I
real
could
talk.
just tell like she was like appreciative of that. And then I go
Right.
in the gym, and I always tell the people at the front like, "Hey, I appreciate you. I hope y'all have a good day. I
Right.
appreciate you being here, so
Right.
I can work out." And like those type of people might not feel appreciated, man. So
For
it's like
real,
I think
man.
it's important to like do those little things that might not mean
Hell
that you
yeah.
might not think means a lot, but it might mean the world to somebody. I was watching this video of this guy. He was going to go jump off the Golden State Bridge and kill himself. And he's on the bus, and he's riding the bus or the train or something. He's riding there, and he's surrounded by people. Nobody said a word to him. He went to the Golden State Bridge, and he jumped off of it, and he didn't die. He hit the water, and he broke a bunch of bones, and they saved him. And whenever he,
Wow.
like he said, there's a video, it's crazy, I'll send it to you.
Send it to me,
He's
bro.
saying as
I wanna see
soon
that.
as his hands left the rail, like as he jumped over and his hands left the rail, he immediately regretted it. All he wanted to do was die. Up until that point, he let go of the rail and he immediately was like, no, like, why did I do that? Like, immediate
Right.
regret. So he
Right.
woke up from a coma and
Right.
told his story, and he was saying that he felt like if somebody would have just acknowledged his existence, that he wouldn't have done that. And it just, like, I'll never forget that video because I was thinking, like, how many people do I pass every day and I just don't say nothing to them? Or I can't, like, if I'm walking in the grocery store and somebody's walking out, I can't, like, hey, how you doing?
That's
Like,
mad
just
true,
say
bro.
something.
That's mad.
Just
true,
let
bro.
them know that they're not invisible.
That is mad true.
Because, like, you're talking about mental disorders. It's like somebody could have, like, some serious mental disorder, and
Right.
all they need is a person to speak to them.
Right.
It's just crazy, man. We have a huge impact on people, like, just
Yo.
from our words or just from listening to them, you know?
Words, energy. You know what I'm saying? Just being there in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
Even just looking at somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring this back to, you know what I'm saying? Like girls and shit like that. Like, you give somebody the right look, and all of a sudden they come over, start talking to you. Obviously, as the guy, a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, you're the one that goes
Yeah,
over
you
there.
got to go over.
Yeah, they ain't coming over to you. That
Yeah.
shit ain't happening. No, they might try to look you up on Snapchat while they right in front of you. I don't know his name or nothing. I'm gonna try to face scan his ass. I don't know, something with these new iPhones, they can do every damn thing in the book. But freaking, you know what I'm saying? Even just eye contact. You know, any type of energy you can give somebody. You know, you matter. Anybody that's listening to this, you matter. Like, dead serious. I know that sounds super fucking cliche. I don't care. You
True.
know what I'm saying?
It's true.
It's coming from, just a a kid with a dream from Greensboro. Shout out to the 336.
Oh, you're from Greensboro.
area. Oh yeah, for
From
real.
the borough.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, I'm from
Greensboro.
Sanford.
Oh, where?
Right up the road, about an hour from you.
Oh, that's crazy,
Yeah,
man. That
yeah.
where's that around? Like,
It's between Raleigh and Fayetteville, right in the
Shit.
middle of the state.
you
So,
really are like
smack.
an hour.
Yeah,
away,
we're about
bro.
an hour,
About
about
it.
50 minutes
Yeah,
if you're rolling
yeah,
out.
Yeah, if you dipping, you're probably like 15 minutes
Yeah.
to get on the highway.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
yeah,
That's
the
what's up.
borough, huh? When'd you move here?
When I was right before I went to the 9th grade. I moved
Okay.
here. Oh yeah. And
So
that
you've
shit
been in
was
Wilmington ever
scary.
since?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
in Wilmington ever since.
Grew up in Greensboro?
I
Greensboro's
left.
a little more hood, I feel like.
It
than
is.
Wilmington.
It is. And I lived in High Point as well. I lived in Section 8.
Okay.
Because, like I said, when I was little, some stuff happened. My mom, she did what young moms do,
Right,
stupid
right.
shit,
Right.
and we had to pay for that a little bit. So I mean, we lived in Section 8 for a little minute. That's another reason why I learned, more about, I don't know, certain culture or whatever. Because that's where a lot of my buddies in there, we just spent all our time, fucking around, messing around on the streets, not doing stupid stuff, but doing stupid stuff when
Yeah.
you're 7, 8 years
But
old.
it shaped and molded you into the person that you are
Oh
today.
yeah, definitely.
You learn how to overcome adversity from a young age.
Hell yes, man. Like really a crazy story. I'm about to be born. My grandmother could tell you this story like verbatim. She's at the bedside with my mom. You know what I'm saying? My mom's trying to give birth, and if you can't see, I got a big ass head. Even with the headphones on, I got a big ass head
Same.
for real. Apparently, I got stuck like at my head, like
Yeah.
in my mom's, in her cervix or whatever, and they could not get me out. My heart rate slowed down to 20 beats a minute,
Damn.
dog. I was dying right there, and my grandmother said she was right there at her bed, at my mom's bedside, and she started praying. She said, "In the name of Jesus, warrior, little Justin, come out now." And then all of a sudden, this is a fucking absolute real story, dog. All of a sudden, my heartbeat, started going up again, and then voila, there it all
Came
happened.
out.
So I guess, I don't know, if you look at the little details in your life, cheesy ass little stories like this, it is who you are. Like,
Yeah.
the people, like I said, people were scared. You take yourself serious, but again, don't take yourself too serious. Don't be afraid, to think about, the little stupid things that help make you who you are. Or the little things when you were a kid that you can barely remember. It's like thinking back on that now, going through adversity in life. And obviously so many people have had it worse. A lot of people have had it. I'm sure you've had shit happen to you that hasn't happened to me. Any listener, I'm sure you've been through a lot of shit. A story you could tell somebody where it's like nobody else has had this exact thing happen to them, But it's like, you know, I've been through a few things, and it's just at the end of the day, like you said, like going back to it, like every time like I feel like I'm down in life, I'll picture that, you know, that moment where it's like, you know, God brought me into this world a warrior, so I'll just continue to compete and be a warrior. And I mean, that, I don't know, it's just a real, you know what I'm saying, a cool thing to go by, you know, like you got to have resilience as a person. You got to have resilience, man. Like I know used to, going back on what you were saying a little bit ago, caring, yeah, as you were younger, when we're young, we care about all the stupid shit. And all of a sudden, as you get older, you start caring about stuff that matters. I used to worry about, like, I'm a big hat guy, you know, hat shoe guy. I was like, I want to get like 20 snapbacks, and now I got like 20 hats, and it's like, I used to care about, you know, making sure they were all color coordinated. Yeah. Like I said, OCD as fuck about it. And now it's just like, oh shit, the light bills do. It's like, it's like you start worrying about the things that actually matter. So it's like, what matters so much, man, is, like I said, is much, you know, just not taking yourself so seriously and recognizing like all the little things, man.
How was your show the other night? Tell me how it went. Tell me about, we were talking about it before the podcast. I just want you to kind of repeat for absolutely. The listeners, because it was important what you said kind of about what you took positive out of it.
Yeah, it was like, you know, you get woofed, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people tell you shit is going to happen, and it doesn't turn out exactly how it's going to. And, you know, so basically the show was supposed to be a lot of people there. Come to find out, didn't know this, there were strippers there. Like, I mean, the first thing I've been part of, you know what I'm saying? I don't have that much stage experience, but first thing I've been part of where it was strippers. So I was like, okay, so this is how it is. And it was just like, I guess it kind of made it like a little more awkward because I've never been like in that type of, you know, environment or whatever. But there was just supposed to be like more people, like a lot more people coming. And it was just, like, I don't know, like it was kind of, I don't want to say, it wasn't like a huge mess, but just could have been like planned out better. But there was just less people there, you know what I'm saying, in the crowd and shit like that. And it was just kind of like, seemed like it was kind of thrown together at the last second. But again, as I was telling you, the positive, you know, thing I guess I learned to take from it, even as, you know, just sitting here thinking about it, it's like, yeah, I mean, it sucked that it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, that it wasn't an opportunity to get more exposure, you know, for sponsors to be there, that type of shit, people that could help get me out there. But it helped me not only get another experience moment in front of people on stage, it did it in a moment that was filled with adversity, because when I got on stage, I was like, there's like nobody here. My confidence was like low as fuck. Because when you go in front and stand-up comedy, it's like, hell yeah, I'm about to do my thing. It's like 4 people there. It's like somebody, of course they're going to laugh. It's 4 fucking people. Yeah. So it was like not many people in the crowd. So I was just like, I can either treat this 2 ways. I can either fucking go up here and fuck this up, which I did. And when it's probably the best time I've had in front of a crowd. Like, just me personally, I felt like I grew because I got up there. I was like, either go up there and fuck it up, or just freaking, you know, be lackluster because there's not many people, and you know, and go south. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna kill it. So I just treated it like I was the only fucking person there. I was just like, fuck it, like I'm the best, bro. Like even after I got off stage, I was like, I said it's tension. I just fucked this shit up. I'm out. And it was just like didn't get much response. I was like, fuck it, I don't care. And it's like you know that new Joker movie? Yeah. Joker's crazy, right? Like you said, we all crazy.
I really dug it.
Dude, that shit was... That shit was fire, man. If you ain't seen it, go check that shit out. The Joker movie, that shit
insane,
is sweet,
bro.
Man. But there's a moment in that movie, man, and I relate to it. I really do relate to it. And it kind of made me see things a different way. I kind of want to be like a Joker in music, honestly. Because, like, when he is in that... If you've seen the movie, the scene... Right before he goes back to the Murray show, right? Right before he goes to the Murray show appearance to kill De Niro, right? Yeah. He's going down that fucking staircase that he used to go down used to go up to get home or whatever, and he smokes the cigarette by himself, nobody there, and he's all dressed up as a clown. Everybody's probably thinking he's crazy. He's dressed up as a clown. He's got the cigarette in his mouth. He blows the smoke out, and he fucking twirls and dances. And they even have it as like one of the covers. Like if you know what I'm saying, if you go and try to look up the movie on Google or whatever, the main cover art for the movie. You know, the photo taken is where he's twirling, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
dancing with a cigarette in his hand. It's like, fuck it. I want to be that dude. I want to
Yeah.
be, if my moment, because like I said, everybody's crazy. Everybody lives outside reality sometimes. Like, why not just embrace, you know what I'm saying, your inner joker, like your inner clown. You know, all the shit on social media now about like, oh, such and such is the clown for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like in sports, you know, somebody does something stupid, they get suspended. It's like, oh, look at this damn clown right here. It's like everybody's got clown in them.
Yeah.
So I would rather be like the joker of something. And if it seems like it's making my own reality, how the fuck are you ever going to think I'm good if I don't realize it first?
Right.
So I can sit there by myself and fucking, you know what I'm saying, twirl around in a clown suit, cigarette, you know, smoking a cigarette. I don't smoke, but, you know, metaphorically, you know, sitting there smoking a cigarette, taking a puff, and be like, I'm the shit and nobody can fuck with me. Then it's like, that's eventually going to become reality. As long as it's the Lord's will, that's going to become reality because you recognize it first. And greatness has got to be realized inside before it's ever projected outside. It will never get out, bro. It's like being in a, think of this. It's like the difference between, and this is a weird comparison, but it's like if you're in prison, if you're just in one of the regular cells, they got the bars, people can still see through them. But you go in that fucking padded room and nobody's ever going to see you. So you're in there, but nobody sees you. But if you're in the cage, there's still, you know, there's still the slots through it where people can see you. Well, again, this is a weird comparison, but if you don't let anything shine that's inside of you, you're pretty much in the fucking padded room. It's like there can be something inside of you, absolutely, but nobody's ever going to be able to see it because you're not allowing any exposure to it whatsoever. So you got to be able to realize some shit inside before anybody realizes it outside. That's why, like I said, again, said it 1,000 times now, don't take yourself too damn serious and don't be afraid to overhype yourself and put overstock in yourself, because if you don't, who the fuck is?
Yeah.
And then eventually, you know, when you get to the walk of life that the Lord wants you to be at, eventually people are going to be putting overstock in you because you're going to be good as fuck at what you're doing and people are going to be recognizing it. So why not be a step ahead? Why be a step behind and be all down on yourself and shit? Instead, just fucking don't be afraid to, you know what I'm saying, be that clown that thinks you're good at something before anybody thinks you're good
I didn't
at it.
realize the significance of that scene until you just said that.
It's crazy.
I knew it was an awesome scene.
It's crazy.
Because he makes it to the bottom and then the cops.
Yeah, exactly.
Come up the
All of a
top.
sudden, right after that scene, the cops come.
Like he smokes his whole cigarette and he makes it all the way to the bottom, and then they're just like he's I can't remember what music's playing, but the music's like perfect.
It's perfect.
It's perfect for how he's dancing to the scene.
It's
Joaquin
a fitting
Phoenix was
scene.
fucking
He
awesome
fucking
in that
smoked
movie.
it. He smoked it, man.
Dude, he smokes it all.
He smoked
Like in
it.
Johnny Cash in the Cash movie.
Oh my God, that's
Bro.
like the one other movie I've saw with him.
Bro,
in it.
he is
killed that shit,
amazing.
bro.
Yeah.
That was like 12 years ago now.
But I didn't realize the significance of that. But I feel like the movie had a lot to do with him trying to conform to society at the beginning, and he was miserable. And then when he finally let loose and became who he really was, the Joker, which I feel like that's who he really is on the inside.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And like he got tired of taking people's shit
He did,
and
man.
beating him up and taking his
He
shit,
did.
and he just finally let loose and became who he was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, on this podcast, you know what I'm saying, we're not telling you to go out and do stupid shit, you know, because Joker could have handled that a whole different way.
Yeah.
But the basis of it, you know, my mom always tells me, you know what I'm saying, my mom's the greatest woman, you know what I'm saying, I've ever known. Just everything she's been through, you know. She always tells me, she's like, it's all about perception. So you got to take good from everything, even the bad shit.
Yeah.
You got to be able to take good from it. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, why not, you know?
You
Why
got
not?
any shows lined up?
I got something big going on right now.
Tell me about it. Can you talk about it? You don't want to talk about it yet?
I don't want to, you know, get too much into it because I want to see where it goes first. I'm a little skeptical about, you know, a couple of pieces of, like, you know, the conformity of it and everything. But it could be a huge opportunity.
Well, that's great.
It could be a huge opportunity, and just if you listen, just keep it in your prayers.
Yeah.
I'm one type of people I've grown to learn as much as you know, like you said, like I said, you can put overstock in yourself. Don't try to like count your chickens before they hatch, because if something's not the Lord's will, you don't want to be the guy going and yelling about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is about to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and it's like,
Absolutely.
oh shit, this dude cried
It
wolf
seems
again.
better if you just keep your mouth shut.
If you keep it low, man.
And then when
It's
it
weird,
happens,
right?
like that's appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate every second
Yeah,
of it.
absolutely.
That's good. You deserve big shit going on because your music is phenomenal. You're very, very
Man,
talented,
I
bro.
appreciate the shit.
So we don't have nowhere to give anybody to link to your shit quite yet.
Not quite yet.
All
I
right,
mean, there's
we're going to work on that at the Hunt for Greatness podcast for this man. So any help that anybody can give, hit me up, hit Justin up. I just put his Instagram name on my story. So follow him on Instagram. He ain't big on social media, so we're gonna help him with that too.
Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying about
Yeah.
social media
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So, but yeah, we got to get some of your music out there, man. You're extremely talented. So can I send people stuff that you've sent me, or is
absolutely,
that
absolutely,
okay?
absolutely.
All right. I was
that.
wondering that. I sent it to one of my boys. I'm like, I just had to let it. It's the guy that sponsors this podcast,
Right.
actually.
Okay,
The
all
one
right.
I was talking about at the beginning.
Okay, got you.
So I
got you,
sent
got you.
him the music, and he's like, dude. So like he wants to kind of try to help, and like, look, we need to get some people behind you, and like you need some
That's
people
what
to
is needed.
support.
That is what is needed.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
That
So
is
like
what
you're
is
out
needed.
here busting your ass, you're out here grinding, delivering pizzas, and God
yeah.
knows what else you're doing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
trying to make ends meet,
Yeah.
pay the bills. You're paying for all your shit yourself, your
Oh,
studio
yeah.
time, all that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like you're out here busting your ass, man. And like
yeah.
if anybody's ever in a position to help, like let's do it. You know, like just like you would do for somebody else.
Oh,
you would do
man.
the same thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
man.
so like I mean, dude, I believe in you. I believe in you, man. Like you're extremely talented. Your music is
I
so
appreciate
unique.
that. I appreciate
Yeah,
the hell out of
dude.
that,
Yeah.
man.
So like
Yeah.
anytime you got anything going on in your career and what you're trying to do, like come back on the podcast. Let's talk about it. Let's promote it. Let's get it out there. You know, people, it's good that you came on and like we got to kind of know a little bit about
Yeah,
who you
for real.
are.
Yeah,
Because
I
I
appreciate
think,
that
yeah,
shit,
I think
for
it's
real.
important to like humanize people and like make you somebody who's relatable. Because somebody could hear your music and be like, oh man, like that dude's probably nothing like me. But like they could hear the podcast and be like, oh man, like
Yep.
I can actually relate to this guy.
Yep, man.
You know,
that's so fucking true.
yeah,
man.
so it's cool for you to come do
Yeah,
podcasts, and I'm sure you're
I
going to be on a
appreciate the
lot
time.
more, and you're going to be doing interviews with people, and it's going to be
Yeah.
not in a spare bedroom. So like, let's get you ready for some big shit because it's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
It's going to
Hell yeah.
happen, bro. Like
Hell
we'll speak it into
yes.
existence.
Oh, yeah, we got to, man. We
Yeah,
got to.
anytime you got anything like merch, if you're releasing a song, any of that shit,
Oh, yeah.
hit me up so I can share and reach out to people because
Oh, yeah.
I got a whole nother circle of people than you got. You know what I mean? So like
Hell.
it's gonna reach a whole nother
Yeah,
circle.
man. And if it can hit the right hands, that is the one thing I do love about the social media age. If this shit hits the right hands,
It's over.
it's over.
It's over.
My life changes.
Yeah.
My
for
life
sure.
changes. Everybody around me's life changes. It takes one big moment.
Absolutely.
One song I choose to, you know, like I said, go buy the beat for, master that shit, do what needs to be done. One fucking song goes viral. It's over.
You make a connection with the one right person too. It can be a rap. It can be a rap, dude. So it's like you're right in the beginner stages of this thing, dude, and like we're just gonna try to push it forward for you, man, because you're extremely talented, and like I truly believe in what you're doing, and I wouldn't blow smoke up your ass, and I don't have to say none of this shit. Like I don't
I
feel
know.
like I'm
Oh,
not
I
a
know.
people pleaser.
Yeah, man.
You- I'm not, bro.
yeah.
And like I'll tell you the truth, and
Yeah,
like
me
I
too.
definitely thought your music was not gonna be good, and I was like, there's no way, because you hear a lot of fucking trash nowadays. And everybody thinks they're a rapper, or a musician. Like that's great.
I
That's
love
great. More
that,
more
honestly.
power to you. I hope you get better. But like your shit is fucking great, dude.
I love what you just said. I love that. I love being underestimated. That shit fucking.
I underestimate
That shit-
musicians a little
that
bit
shit-
because there's so much out there. It's so saturated.
I'm trying to tell
It's
you.
so saturated. So
Oh.
I hear a bunch of trash.
Exactly.
Even the
man.
people that are on the radio, a lot of that shit is trash, dude. It's garbage.
It's garbage. I'm like, I'm better.
So
than
to hear a
half those
pizza
guys.
delivery guy come to my house and be like, "Oh, I can rap," you're like, I
Yeah.
don't know, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll give it a listen,
yeah,
but
for
I
real.
don't know.
Yeah, for real. I don't blame you. And like I said, just that shit fucking makes my fucking boat roll. The fact, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I don't want to be knocked by people. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the next. And don't get me wrong. You know, I'm sensitive. I can be sensitive just like everybody else can. And I'm not saying I'll sit there and fucking, you know, throw a parade whenever somebody doesn't like my shit. But at the same time, after something resonates to me, that somebody doesn't believe in me, that somebody doesn't think I can make it to that next level, that shit is like literally taking a fucking, you know, heroin, whatever it is, speed, and injecting that shit right into my bloodstream, snorting that shit right up, because it gives me like this feeling I've never felt before when I know that when it becomes relevant to me that somebody doesn't have any belief in me whatsoever, and it's like, I will fucking show you.
Yeah.
I will fucking show you, and I will make you literally look like a fucking clown because you're wrong. And I know you're wrong. And that is you asked about my drive for music. That is one of the biggest things for me. That is one of the
That's awesome.
biggest things.
I would say probably they're an idiot if they hear your shit and don't like it. I mean, I know people like different stuff,
Yeah, absolutely.
but it's like, damn, how can you not feel this shit? Like the energy, the emotion in the lyrics, like the like you're putting 100% in that shit.
Right.
100% of your soul, bro.
Dude, fuck
you just
yeah,
don't.
man.
There's
I'm
just
saying.
not enough shit like that out there. But I guess it wouldn't make it so special if it was a lot of shit like that out there. Because it's special to me when I listen to that and I'm like, damn, like this is really, truly a notch above the rest of what I've been hearing. You know, it's just, it's amazing. So if anybody wants any of his music, hit me up. I'll send it to you. We're going to get his shit. We should probably get it like, first step, get the beats. Then put something on YouTube, something with an image.
YouTube,
just put something with an image.
Yeah, Spotify. I got cover art for a
Throw
lot of these songs.
cover art on the fucking video, and then just play the music.
Yeah, that's another thing I do. I make my own cover art. I taught myself how to do that shit too.
All right, cool. I do Spotify. I do Spotify. I do Apple Music, and I do YouTube.
Oh,
so I mean, any help you need, I can try to help you on that. I got my own website. I purchased it through Squarespace, $200 a month, and it's easy as fuck to make. And that's what I use for all my RSS feeds, which is where all those platforms stream through your actual website. You don't have to buy a website.
Right.
You can do it in other ways, but it's pretty easy, man. Like I can help you with all that stuff, but we got to get them beats because your shit needs to be heard by the masses, bro.
It's gonna be. It's
yeah,
gonna be for real,
yeah. I'm
man.
excited for you, dude.
It's gonna be, man.
I'm
honestly,
so thankful that you came on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
But like, you gotta promise me you'll come back here when you blow up at some point. You're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
fucking blow up, and I want you back on my podcast.
Oh shit, bro. I like that. This was fun, honestly. You know, getting to sit here and chop shit up with you. I wouldn't mind, you know, being back here, you know, sooner rather than later. That's for damn
I'm gonna
sure.
hold you to it when you get big and famous, dude. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Oh, bro, like that. That's the moment in my life. The moment where I'm standing in front of. I got a goal to myself. Running out of time. I said by 25, I want to sell out an arena.
Damn, that'd be sick, dude.
I want to sell out an arena by 25. I can fucking do it, and it's just gonna take hard work. The craft has been building. We're gonna get the shit out here.
For sure.
Get it out here. That's
I'm
my word,
excited
bro.
for you. I'm excited to know you, and I'm glad that we're friends now, and we can kind of.
Oh yeah, bro.
We can both help each other.
Oh
so,
yeah, fuck yeah.
I'm stoked that we
definitely for
both
sure,
were
man.
like outgoing enough to talk, and that you were like able
I'm
to.
trying to tell you. Something told me to mention.
It
my
lined
music,
up, bro.
Something told me to mention my music. That's crazy.
And you're talking to like some fucking redneck dude sitting in a boat. You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, what? Because if you wouldn't have said it, you would have regretted it. If you wouldn't have said anything, you'd have been like, why didn't I say something? And then we would have never talked again.
Dude, something. This is gonna sound crazy.
Not to me, probably.
Okay. I believe, you know, in hearing from the Holy Spirit. Obviously I'm not perfect. You know, my Christian scorecard's not perfect. You know, I can cuss a little bit sometimes, this, that, and the next, but I believe in Christ so much, and you know, I pray, you know, and I try to meditate, you know, on the Lord. And I remember before I came to work that night, honest to God, this was like 3 weeks ago in that round, right?
Yeah.
About 3 weeks ago. I remember something telling me, because I was just feeling down. Something was saying something is about to happen. I didn't know when. I was on the way to this run, and freaking I don't know if it was having trouble getting. Yes, the guy that ordered the pizza didn't answer the damn phone or whatever, right? He didn't answer the phone, and so I was not even about to take it, and then all of a sudden, like, y'all called back, and I was like, something told me, dude, go to this house. I swear to God, I swear to you.
That's crazy.
Out of anything that night, and that was like midnight on a Saturday night, it was like, go to that house. I swear to God on my life. I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden I got out the car and something told me to mention my music. I swear to you,
As soon as you
bro.
said music, I was like, hold up. Like, because
I
lights
know,
started going
I
off.
could tell you were
Because
like,
I stopped what I was doing,
you
and
were
I'm like, wait,
you were
what do you do?
You were like, you do music? I was like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. And that music's such it brings people together. But that's just crazy. I thought I'd mention that.
Well,
That's
see, here's the thing,
badass.
though. If he would have ordered it from the right restaurant, like from the right Domino's,
Wouldn't happen.
No, it wouldn't have happened because you would have just been like, here's your pizza, man. Hope y'all have a good night. Bam, here's your tip. Bam, you're gone. Because you stood out there for like 5 minutes. And, like, that's when we started bullshit.
Dead ass. That's
I just
so
think it's
true,
crazy
man.
how it all fell into
The
place.
little
and-
mishaps, like going back to what I said, God standing at the end of our life, waiting on the other side. He's already there. He knows. Another message: anything you do right or wrong, don't regret it. It's all in God's plan. Whether you hurt somebody, whether you help somebody, whether you cuss at somebody, whether you bless somebody, whatever it is, it's all God's plan, man. It's all God's plan. It's all literally for a reason. That's why you can't live with regrets, because you're not here long enough to fucking regret anything. You could be gone tomorrow, and the more you sit around regretting, the less you're fucking stepping. So I mean, you can't regret, and that for that reason, it's just like God let this come out of like nothing,
Yeah.
like a pizza mishap.
Dude.
God's awesome, man. God uses.
I'm so glad this is recorded forever. This shit's recorded forever. That shit's awesome, bro.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, man. This has been fucking cool.
I really
man.
appreciate you coming
Hey,
out.
man, I appreciate the shit out of
Yeah.
it for sure. bro.
Thank you guys
Absolutely.
for listening to the Hunt for Greatness podcast, and
yeah.
check my man out. His Instagram. I'm gonna take a picture of you in front of this wall.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna tag him on my Instagram. We'll have some music out soon, man. I'm gonna try to help you as much as possible.
Get this shit going.
Yeah, let's get it going. Thank you guys for listening to Hunt
All
for
right,
Greatness
man.
podcast. We out.
We out.
That's about as American as it gets, bro.
It's American.
Is this thing on?
Check 1 2 1 2.